of, I just thought of this the other day, how ironic this is. I live very close to a windsurfing center. And so people go out on the bay. I've been in this apartment for 19 years. And for 19 years, I've been able to see people going out on the bay when it's a windy day with their windsurfs and just go wild surfing the wind. And I was thinking about how ironic it is that this has been my karma to have this apartment, to be able to be so close to all these people who are learning how to move with the wind and the waves. And the thing about windsurfing is if there's no wind on a given day, I know I'm going to state the obvious here, no one goes out. There's no wind. But when there's a windy day like there was yesterday, the place is packed because the conditions allow for movement. And I was just, for some reason, it took until this week to think, Tosha, for 19 years, you've been able to, this blessing to see all these windsurfers and go, this is actually the nature of this work. It's not passivity. It's that you start to be able to be a good surfer so that when the wind is up, get your board out because God is going to be taking you for a ride. You're going to be moving, you're going to be changing, you're going to be moving forward. And when the wind is not up, you don't spend all this time being mad at the wind. It's not up. And then it'll be up again. So I would say right now, to extend her metaphor about the beach, the wind is not up yet. Don't go out on the bay and get mad when the surfboard doesn't move. The wind will be up after the 18th, progressively more and more. So in the meantime, good surfers take their boards home and, I guess they wax them and they paint them and they get their body strong so that when they get on the board, they can control it well with moving with the flow. This is what this work is. You're moving with the flow. And I get it that in a culture that has almost zero understanding of that, it's just like, I need it, I want it now. If it isn't now, I'm going to freak. This is all about how to move with the flow. So it just takes some practice to start to embrace that. And then once you do, it's just such a relief. You're like, oh, the wind is out. It's okay. All needs will be met in the meantime. And then when the wind is up, forward motion comes, whatever that means. Okay, so on that line, I wanted to just tell you this story also that I heard the other day because it really struck me about, I think I've just been thinking about, again, that way that offering can be mistaken for passivity, and it's not. So I ran into somebody that I used to give readings to for many years, and back when I did those, and so she's telling me this story that she's been living in this apartment for, I guess, over 10 years. She's been there a long time. She lives in New York, and she's been paying a lot for the apartment, as one does in New York. And she's been feeling more and more and more frustrated with paying so much for it, and, it was small but expensive, blah, blah, blah. And she got the money book. And as she got it, she realized that what she'd been really telling herself before she read the money book, she was saying to herself, well, I'd really like to leave, but truly, I'm lucky to even have an apartment, and if this is what I've got to pay, so be it. There's never going to be anything else out there. I just got to suck it up. She was thinking from all of that typical scarcity thinking that the culture promotes. Anyway, so she told me by the time she got to the end of the book, she suddenly had this novel idea. And she said, I'm going to simply start saying that the right place is already picked. It's the law of the prayer of divine selection. A lot of you know it by now. And I'm just going to start saying the perfect place is picked. And will come to me, and I will be shown the actions when the time is right. Now, she said, I finally became open. And that was the kicker. She said, before that, I was just thinking, I should surrender to this. I just should be lucky that I have something. She said it really changed from reading the money book. And she started to say, well, if the place I am is the perfect place, then that's great. So I'm completely open. But if it's not, I'm going to stop telling the universe what has to happen. I'm going to stop telling it, you need to leave me here in this place because I don't believe anything else can occur. And instead, I'm going to keep saying that the perfect place is picked. And so she said she started doing that, and for a couple of weeks, nothing happened. And so she was talking to her daughter and saying, maybe this is the perfect place. And if so, so be it. And then all of a sudden, one morning, literally out of the blue, she woke up and she had this thought that there was this rental she's not in New York City, she's like up in Westchester, and that there was this rental in her area that she had noticed probably for a year. And it was this very large, beautiful house. And it had just had a for rent sign on it forever. And she'd even had looked the house up maybe a year ago, just out of curiosity, and the rent was astronomical. So nobody had rented it. And she suddenly had this thought, this is how it goes with the divine. Out of nowhere, a year later, this thought comes in her mind after doing the prayer for 2 weeks. I'm going to call the realtor on this house. And because it doesn't belong to me, none of this issue belongs to me anymore. I've said that the perfect place is picked. I'm going to find out what's going on with that house since it's been empty forever. And if I see it and I like it, I'm going to make an offer. And I'm going to offer to give them the same thing I'm paying for the rent on my apartment, which was a lot less than what they were asking. And she said, you know what? If it's meant to be, they'll be interested. If it's not meant to be, then for right now, I'm meant to be here. So she became wildly open, but she also was following the leads. And the lead was coming from her own intuition, having this crazy idea, I'm just going to reach out about this. So to make a long story short, she went and saw it, and then she loved it. I mean, she couldn't even believe it. It was like this, it was like moving from this very constricted, difficult situation into this tremendous expansion. And then she turns to the realtor and she says, I know this is crazy, but she prayed ahead. Okay, God, do the talking. If this is meant to happen, just give me the words. And she said, I know this sounds crazy, but I've noticed that this has been empty for a year. So here's what I can afford. It's literally what I'm paying for my current rent. I can't go any higher. Is there any chance the owner might just accept it? Because some money is better than no money, right? And they did. That's the deal. They took it. And so this woman is now about to move into, for exactly the same as what she was paying, this glorious place. And, what it was reminding me, she herself was so flabbergasted. And I said, what are you so surprised about? Like, you became open. You stopped telling the universe how it had to go. You became fine with or without it. You followed your intuition that said, no, make them an offer. If they say no, then it's the divine guiding you back to the place that you are until something else shows. And so, I don't know, I just really love that story. To me, it really embodies how it's not passivity. Yes, sometimes a place just comes and finds you. Sometimes a person just comes and finds you. But just as often, you get this hit. You're like, you know what? I'm going to do that. And since I work with offering and not chasing, what they say back doesn't really matter. I'm just going to follow my gut. And, you know, she's moving in like in 2 weeks. It's like a very fast turnaround. So that was interesting. She's moving in right after Saturn goes direct. So there you go. For whoever needs it, that's my story to you. And just know the offering gives you the freedom to not be attached to the outcome. Because you're saying, if this is not supposed to happen, then what is supposed to happen is going to occur. It gives you the courage, actually, to even make an offer or to say what you need. Because why not? What's meant to come is going to come. All right.